that happened fast. I haven't even got time to put my food up there. So yeah, I'm just man, trying to get loaded and get down the road in hot Texas. Stopped at the Loves, and I got, it's the crazy thing, like in the picture, they got burritos they're making. I'm not talking about the Don Pablo burritos. I'm talking about the ones that, this is a new thing. This is new, you know. They got pico de gallo, you know, and I threw a couple of jalapenos in there. It's probably not the greatest pico de gallo ever, but that's what I got going on right now, man. Now here's what I wanted to show you. Look, this is crazy. I'm like, if they're gonna have fajitas, man, whew, I'm on board with that. So, man, I gotta grab my drinks here, get everything ready. Just giving it a second for a couple people to come in the room. They're gonna ask me what's going on. Well, I don't want to tell it already, but yeah, food time, man. And if they're gonna start having real food at the truck stops, hey, it saved me from hunting all the time for good Mexican food, Mexican restaurants, because that's what I eat. Let's see what we got here. We will find out how good it is, that's for sure. Let's see. I mean, how bad can they be, right? How bad can it be? It could be pretty bad. It could be, might need to go to the hospital, get a tetanus shot, ain't no telling. No, I'm sure it's fine. We'll find out though. Man, so these little rolled up packages of silvery goodness right here, this is what I'm talking about. Who knows, because this one says bean and cheese on it, right? So explain to me how I'm supposed to believe this anyways, when this one, same package, just a different sticker. I hope they labeled them right? That's chicken, fajita chicken, this one's fajita steak. Now, the time on it was good. They just put it out, and I'm thinking, well, how bad could it be, right? So we will find out. We will see if it's edible. I don't know when they started, and I know it's new, and in Texas, everything's got to be good in Texas, right? So, well, we'll find out. I looked at, it's a whole glass enclosure, and anything's better than hot dogs. So I'm like, I wouldn't even want to buy anything from there, because I walk right back to buy the hot dog thing all the time. Sometimes they have the ones that are polished, but so these here, we'll find out in a few seconds here. I'm waiting to get loaded, trying to get out of Waco. That was Paris, Texas, by the way. Paris, P-A-R-I-S, Texas is the Loves. And we'll find out. No reason to worry. Oh, it is what it is. Hope everybody's doing good today. I'm doing pretty good. Try to drop as many informative videos as I can, but when it comes to food, you need a parking spot for a truck. You know. Try to let people know what's out there, what's good. What's good in Texas? They've got a Texas pecan coffee. Now, this is Love's version of their Texas. In here is Texas, not Texas pecan. They're calling it, what do they call it? Bourbon something pecan, right? It's okay. It's better than the other stuff they got. But I like a Texas pecan coffee from Texas Best Truck Stop, or I don't think they call it Roadhouse. It's Texas Best Barbecue Roadhouse. There's two of them, and they're two different companies evidently. I did a video on one, and I don't even know where it's at. So that place is awesome for that. But truly, the best coffee that you're gonna find is called Highland Grog, and they got that up north. It's Highland grog. Some of them call it Highlander grog. If you can get that coffee and grind it up and make that in a cappuccino machine, you're good to go. Or if a lot of Shell gas stations have it. Let's see here. Man, I'm just double checking at this point, make sure I'm in the right dock there, not loading it. Middle of nowhere. Backside of a building and you feel forgotten. So let's just dive into this stuff, man. Bean and cheese. I gotta have some kind of bean. So they were 2 for, I don't know what was the price. I had the thing up there. I think it's like 2 for $4 and something. And so I wound up getting 3 because you gotta have beans. But I got the fajita chicken, like I showed. I got the bean and cheese, so I have some kind of beans, and fajita steak. And I'm gonna try this one first. So what's wrapped up in this silvery goodness? It could be a biohazard. Who knows? It could be. It's a truck stop. But look, hey, if all the Loves are doing this, I'm with it. I'm on, if it's good, And I've seen some people that are from Texas, that, hey, if it's good enough for them to eat it, they were grabbing at it. And the woman in there she only spoke Spanish, and she was telling the other guy in Spanish, hey, this is what we got right here. So we're gonna find out what these are all about. Gotta unwrap them. It's like just a mess. You gotta open it up and put the pico de gallo on it. Maybe just eat it. That is what it is. Get a fork for the pico de gallo and shovel it in. I'm not being paid by Loves to do anything. I do a review on where I go, and I appreciate them making parking spots for us. And so, food is food. When you find something good, just tell other people, because we're tired of eating trashy burgers and trashy places, that's for sure. So we got it. Like I said, that pico de gallo, it's not the greatest in the world, but the colors look good, everything's good. We'll find out. Might try it first. Yeah, cilantro, good stuff. Oh, there's meat in it. There's meat. It's got meat. So I'll rate it before I'm done. I'll give you a 1 to 10 on each of them, but nothing's gonna beat a Mexican restaurant. But when you're out of hours or whatever, if they're gonna start doing this, the Loves, at all of them, it's a trial thing, is what the guy said. I asked the manager. I don't know if they're everywhere, but if they are, man, they can forget about all the other stuff. Because at the end of the night, when you go and there's no hot dogs on the roller or whatever, and you're going looking in a freezer for something that looks like this, but it's Don Pablo with peppers, that's no good. And then they got back there, they got sandwiches that, you got to check the dates on them. Seriously, this will work. If you can get me a chicken fajita and it really tastes like chicken fajita, I'm not gonna argue that. I'll buy that every time I'm in there. And plus, really, I gotta be honest, it didn't cost me a dime because I had points on my card. That's a smart way to do it. Free lunch on Loves. But for $4 for 2 of them, if you're not trying to try all 3 like I did, there's nothing wrong with a $4 snack or lunch or whatever you want to call it. So that's pretty good. Open up and take a bite of the bean and cheese one too, man. That's what I got right here. But look, this one so far way better than Don Pablo, and they got real steak in there, big chunks of meat. So you can't hardly fake that. They can press chicken together, but you can't press meat together. Oh, I think the other one was a barbecue steak or barbecue beef. So if that's their idea of barbacoa, I haven't tried it. I probably should have bought that one too. Next time, look, I'll buy that too. I'll let you know about it. But I want to show this, man. I may be the first person to have tried this. I don't know. Definitely the first person to talk about it. And hey, thanks, Loves. Something to eat, already ready. We're out here running Nobody's got time for nothing. And they're hot. They're in a case, already ready to go. That's real steak. Big hunks of steak. It's not shredded. This is like you would actually get at a Mexican restaurant. That meat in there. So, man, big chunks of steak and cheese. I think that was bell pepper and probably onion, but I can't tell about the onion because there's not much. Man, good stuff. Hey, this could be, that's the question. Is it survival food or is it real good stuff? So far I'm going with good stuff. We'll open up the bean one. Gotta try something new. Gotta live. Going for the bean. Hey. Well, it's pintos, it's refried beans, and it's pretty good. This is my new thing. This is my new go-to. If they have it. I don't know what Love's has it. We'll just have to find out. I know they have them in Paris, Texas. Stop in Paris, Texas. I-35 south of Dallas. North of Waco. About an hour north of Waco. So, yeah. Man, beans are good. That's freaking good. It didn't cost me a dime, Man, I'm impressed. Might have to get Love to send me some money for prepping their food. That's funny. Yeah, y'all here, Loves. If y'all are watching, I wonder if this thing focuses now. Still no focus, that's alright. Loves, if you're watching, you got banging the burritos. Those are pretty good. So, I can't talk. They need to get some, like, bags of homemade, or restaurant style, not the dry ones, but like actual true tortilla chips. That one place at that, what you call it, Groceria, and man, where was that at? Where was that at? I forget if that was in Michigan. I did a video on it. Anyways, I called it glazed chicken or good chicken and coconut water. That place, they had a factory down the street that made the tortillas, and stuff. Yeah. I have a cigar in a minute with that. Oh, they just started loading me. That's good. That means they inspected and everything. Good to go. When you're hauling some crazy stuff that's real picky, well, man, we don't beat the devil out of my truck though. You can't tell it's shaking, but I can. Woo. I'll give it an 8. It's not a Mexican restaurant. Don't think I'm saying that. But I can guarantee you that's good food. That's good food. Man, it's not even as hot as it was. Look, I grabbed this stuff to go and drove an hour. Threw it in a bag. And I'm like, I'll have food when I get there because I know they're going to hold me up like crazy. And, man, this is good stuff. It's bean burrito. Man, that's worth. After this, I'm going to have a cigar. Times are good, man. It's been a crazy day because people on the road were driving like really bad. Worst driving I've ever seen. It's almost like they all went to the same driving school for dummies or something. Half of them had busted windshields. I don't know if it's just that time of day in Waco, Texas, or north of Waco and through Waco, but yeah, kind of crazy. So I was back down at this place, the cigar box, and he hooked me up with some cigars. They had fresh ones. I like it when they put fresh ones in the jar. So this place here, I told them about them before, Cigar Box. These I keep in a bag with a humidor pack. These are rum dipped. They're drowned in rum, and the taste of it, you would think brandy, but like I said, rum dipped cigars. They're called Trader Jack's, and I'm fixing to have one of those. Cut it, smoke it, relax, and not worry about nothing, because they're loading me up. That's the one thing to do. The other thing to do is to, when they're done beating my truck up, get down the road. But eating in the meantime, still eating. This one's next, chicken fajita. Loves, you got a little thing. I ain't made it to the chicken yet, and I did not buy the barbecue beef. If I find another Love's truck stop that barbecue beef, I gotta try that, because I got more points on my card. It won't cost me nothing, and man, that's awesome. It's not just survival food. Yeah, it's way better than the Don Pablo burrito. This is different. They put these out at a certain time of the day. And there was a lady in there doing them. So I don't know. I don't know if they make them in the bag. I guess they make them in the bag. Because this is a sticker that they've got, and it's wrapped. I think they make these fresh. So it was a Mexican lady that had a cart, and she's bringing them out. So I don't know, man. I don't think they're just heated up. I think they're making these things, man. They got somebody's grandma tied up in the back making good Mexican food. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it looks just like the other one, or same tortillas. But these are fresh tortillas. This is not some frozen. I don't think these are frozen. I really don't. There's something to this. So we'll find out what they're doing. Chicken one. Yeah, man. It's been a crazy few weeks. I'll have a cigar box up there for a sec. The chicken doesn't seem to be shredded. It's just chunks of chicken. I like shredded chicken better, but that's this one. So, chicken at your own risk. I'm thinking I should have got the barbacoa, if you call it that. They called it barbecue beef burrito. I think it's barbacoa. They just didn't want to call it that. So, I'll find out. Now I use this thing just for a humidor. I've got another one in the bag. Got quite a few boxes, but that's my go-to one that I go to, and I still have not smoked that massive one. I'm fixing to finish this burrito up. I'll show you it. Yeah, it's chicken burrito. I don't know. It's kind of dry. It's definitely, this one's survival food. If all they have left is the chicken, buy the chicken. But I would say, I bet money that barbacoa, I should have got barbacoa. Because barbacoa is the same as, oh man, it's the same as, let's see, carne guisada. Carne asada is chunked up meat, cooking whatever. Carne guisada basically means spiced meat, but they cook it just like the barbacoa. Man, they just banged that crap out of the back of my trailer. Anyway, while they're loading me here, yeah, this chicken is, like I said, it's not, it's kind of dry, nothing to write home about. I bet you that barbacoa is banging. I should have got the barbacoa. But the bean burrito, I mean, who would want a bean burrito and just say that's awesome? But it was good. It was really that good, man. It was almost as good, like I said, as any restaurant that would have refried beans. And that fajita tasted just like somebody, if you had a restaurant that you went to, took it home, put it in the fridge, the next day you had it. That's what that tastes, fajitas. Maybe not quite as good as the greatest one you ever had, but it tasted fresh like that. It really did. So, Look, somebody's got it going on at Love's. They're using common sense. They know that we're leaving their places trying to go to Mexican restaurants. Hey, where's the nearest Mexican restaurant? So probably at some point, yeah, they should just open up a restaurant, and they had a Hardee's in there too. And I had a burger there the other day. So today it's burrito time. I should have checked that. It's on the end cap. It's on the end of the hot dog roller stand. So if your Love's doesn't have a whole new machine there, like I took the picture of, then you don't got it. But this is still this chicken. Look, if they had nothing else up there, I'd buy this before I'd buy a hot dog. Could just be this one chicken. Seems a bit dry. I'd give this chicken like a 5 or a 6 on a scale of 10. But then the Don Pablo burrito and those burrito big bomb burritos, man, I give them like a 3. So should have got the barbacoa. No worries. Hope everybody's doing good. I had a little bit of an issue the other day up in Indy. And I hope you get out of here pretty soon. To hold you up, there's nothing you can do about it. Sit, wait, and eat. Let's see what else is on the radio here. Something good enough to listen to for the video. Yeah. Good cigars, good food. I drove through what I think was a tornado yesterday. I didn't ask it, I just drove through it. One of those deals. Better to keep going if it's a mile wide storm, so you can be a mile, you'll be out of it. If you're already in it. All those judgment calls you gotta make. Man, they just slammed the back of my truck. How can they tell me to be so delicate with the load when they're beating the devil out of it when they put it in? I don't know. Wow. Well, I hate it if this seems like dead air. I've got a few things I wanted to talk about. Usually I take a few notes. I just wanted to eat and give you a review on these. These are decent. Like I said, Italy, Texas, the Loves. So I'm going to have to make a decent list of the stuff that I've got to teach about. I wanted to teach about spare parts that you need to keep in your truck, especially if you're running between Kansas and, like, say, Denver, Colorado. Once you get over that mountain, either it's good or it's going to break down and go down the other side. But no, I'll make a list right now too, but I'll throw some ideas out there. I showed you what a air compressor governor was in a video the other day when I was basically telling the guy, hey, this is how you remove it and replace it. It's simple. So after that, we got it taken care of and he was rolling. I had the video, ahead of time. So So yeah, I would say an air compressor governor, you know, this is right up there at the top of the list, especially in the wintertime. You'd be in the middle of nowhere, and that's where you're at. I mean, the wrecker bill, the time it takes to get you one, everything else, even though they have service trucks now, they didn't used to have so many service trucks. Most places were like, you got to get into the shop. So, you got to keep extra airlines, people, especially if you have those plastic curly Q ones that snap. I did a video on why you shouldn't even use those in the first place, but companies put them on them. Buy the truck, and then that's what you got. That's your baby. So, I would highly recommend not using plastic ones, but if you do, at least get a name brand like Phillips or whoever, and keep one spare regular air type line. And if you got those curly Qs, I would keep two, at least two now, because you're going to break one, then the other one's going to snap, and keep the one as a spare, whatever. And alternators. I'll show this in a video. I'm going to actually show them on a bench. I built a roller cart, an ultimate shop cart. Basically, they kind of pissed me off on paying me. Now, I did some woodworking because I've been bringing 2x4s to the shop. Lots of 2x4s here and there and everywhere. I keep a jigsaw in my truck. Okay? So, when I see 2x4s in a dumpster, I'll cut off the broken end and I'll take it. And I've had quite a few, and they are all perfectly good wood. And drop them at the shop, and then when you get a chance, hey, go in there and make a cart. So, I made an ultimate shop cart, complete with air compressor, airline on a reel, two of them, two different kind of reels, air tools, impact, ratchet, that's air ratchet, jumper cables, 2,000 cranking amp batteries. I'll go through all that stuff. There's so much stuff on this cart, I can't even talk about it and get through it all. But on the top of that cart is where I'm going to start videoing, and I'm going to video what parts you should keep in a truck. So back to those parts: jumper cables, for sure. Extra lug nut studs if you have the bud type. They're called bud type, or inner and outer lug nuts. Okay? So if your rim goes on your truck and you have one lug nut that holds the first rim on, and then the second rim goes on and you have a whole nother lug nut, outer lug nut that goes on that, that's an inner and outer or bud type, and mechanics hate them, but the inside of the first one goes on, and then there's threads for a castle type nut, lug nut to go on there. So the inner is the stud, the outer is the nut, but the inner stud has got an acorn shape, so it holds the first rim on, then the nut goes on. But that nut, always when they turn air onto it and it's older, starting to rust or anything else, it will strip those threads, and you need to keep extra inner and outer lug studs, and then change all yours out if you have an older truck, say about a 90s Freightliner. That's what they did. So they're reverse threaded. One is right side, one's left side. That makes a difference too. So you need some for the right and some for the left. So even if you're having a tire change, it strips it off, you're dead in the water, because they can't even put the tire back on because your lug nut, inner lug nuts, studs, and the outer lug nuts are rusted and stripped, and they can't get it on there even with air, and then you'll have to torch it back off if you let them put it on there. It's a nightmare. So change them out, people, and get spares. Keep spares. So if you have those type of lug nuts. So let's see, turbo boots, definitely air-to-air piping blows those turbo boot clamps and blows the boots. Keep 2 clamps and 1 boot, or 2 boots and 4 clamps is even better. Let's go over all this stuff. Extra alternator. If you've got an alternator that you had rebuilt, or I'm sorry, that you changed out your alternator, it's a good idea. Don't give them that alternator. You keep that alternator and you get it rebuilt at a starter and generator place. They change the brushes out, unless the bearing needs to be done. They change the brushes out and whatever's going with it, clean it up and throw it in the bunk. Extra brake chamber. Keep an extra brake chamber in your truck. Keep it already cut unless you just really want to get out there and hacksaw it in the wintertime. An extra radio. It's good to have what's called a backup radio. These are not for when you get to the backup, you turn the radio on. Keep it on all the time. That's not the kind of new style backup radios we're talking. We're talking about the one you keep back in the bunk, a backup. Keep an extra mic for sure. I use A-Static, like I said. I've told that several times. These you can actually get a new key switch for $7, solder it in yourself, or pay another $7 or $10 for them to solder it in, and that basically rebuilds this mic because it's a lifetime mic. But I've got several of them that I've had problems and ain't had time to change this key switch out, so I just get another one. But the CB Radio Shop is the one that has the key switch. It's in here. So yeah, and this is the 636L, if you can see that, 636L. So yeah, you can get them on sale for $19.99 at some of the CB shops, or you can find them at Love's for like $29, sometimes on sale, or even as low as $19, or even $39. But the A-Static, basically the insides of this thing is the same as the insides of A-Static is the same as a Road King, in case you don't know about mics. Probably even the same switch. But as far as extra parts, turbo boots, turbo boot clamps, definitely extra fluids. A couple of jugs, even if they're empty, even if they're old washer fluid jugs, something that you've cleaned out, that would be good for hauling water if you don't have water in them, or antifreeze, 50-50 mix antifreeze, because if you got any kind of a coolant leak, you're going to need more, and you're going to need jugs to go get it. Impact sockets, I can't stress enough, because these bolts on these trucks are so big, you don't want to snap a socket and it be the only one you got. You need impact, black steel, strong, high carbon, thick sockets, and a breaker bar, because you don't want to just all use 3/8. You want to use 1/2-inch drives for the bigger bolts. So 1/2-inch breaker bar, 1/2-inch sockets, and then if you want to use a regular ratchet on it, you could if you had the adapter. Get the adapter that goes from 3/8 to 1/2. Get a 1/2-inch impact. These new trucks have enough volume on them to have air pressure enough to run an impact, because I'm looking at it, mine compresses up to about 140 before it shuts off. So the old ones are 120. Even 120, you're missing volume, but you can hook up an air tank to it if you want to drag an air tank around and have extra volume, and that'll run an impact. It may not be enough to remove a tire, but it will be enough to remove any bolts on the truck, and you can use a big breaker bar and a cheater pipe. And a cheater pipe, like I said, a piece of top rail fence post cut with a hacksaw to go on your ratchet, and it extends the ratchet out so you got more leverage and you can push down. Basically a hollow piece of pipe that fits your ratchet, or even your breaker bar. So let's see. Washer fluid. I did a video on that. Add alcohol and you can winterize it, but keep extra washer fluid. By law, you're supposed to have all these things. Honestly, it's one of the things where they cherry pick what they want to push. Nobody pushes that, but it's a great idea to have extra oil, antifreeze, pre-mixed, jugs for water too, because this thing holds a lot of water in it. Let's see. If you have a hydraulic clutch, depending on what you got, whatever kind of fluid you might need for that kind of stuff. Usually that's brake fluid, but let's see. I don't quote me on nothing but power steering fluid. I would say keep some power steering fluid. Keep, if you have get a milk crate, shove it in your side box. They fit in there, and have it full of the fluids that you don't use all the time, but that will help you. So every fluid of your whole truck, basically. Extra bulbs. Keep an emergency kit with a camera in it in case somebody hits you, so that you can take down the names of everybody and have the steps of what you should do if your mind's not thinking right. Keep that. Keep a first aid kit in your truck. I don't know what else to say, but all day long. I've got a pack over here that's just, my loadout is high. I mean, it's look, if I could just one pack off this molly bag, if I can grab it off, it's just one. That's just emergency stuff. And if I send somebody in my truck, I say, hey, get in my truck and get me my first aid kit. If it's that bad, this has got what you need in it. Israeli bandages to stop bleeding. This is Marine Corps. Okay, the Army ones are digital camo. I've got that too though. But you want to keep, this has got a couple of tourniquets in it. You know, some regular gauze, some that kind of stuff. Keep that stuff. Load out heavy, because especially if you're in the middle of a fracking field and you got nowhere else to go, and you know, for help and nobody out there to help you, you're your own resource. But if they grab that, then it's that. But if they grab the whole pack, if they grab the whole bag, that's great, because I can send them back for that or whatever. And then, you know, but it's molly webbing, and you weave that in and out is where you're supposed to do it. Don't just run it through. You weave it in and out and then snap the bag. So and you know, some trauma shears, you know. But let's see, as far as tools though, I'm trying to go through this. Big wrenches for sure, inch and, you know, 15/16 up to inch and a half, inch and 3/4, all the way to at least maybe 2 inch, depending on the bolts on your frame of your truck. You can keep some extra grade 8 bolts, keep extra regular bolts, but grade 8 high carbon steel, grade 8, they're the ones with the star pattern. If you don't know a grade 8 bolt, oh, I can show you that. Check this out. If this pin will work. Okay, look, a grade 8 bolt looks like this. Shaped like a stop sign most times. So when you got a grade 8 bolt, it'll have like lines in it like this. Let you know it's high carbon steel. Now don't hold me to this, okay? So if it's not marked, that's high tensile steel, but usually I have 8 right in the middle. That's what you need for frame bolts. Anybody trying to put a generator on their frame, got to use these or it'll break off going down the road, and then it'll ruin your generator and kill your tire. I've seen boxes fall off the trucks. People trying to do stuff, and they don't know what they're doing. So extra grade 8 bolts. Let's see. Man, see, I would have to take notes. I got a whole page full of stuff. Jumper cables for a truck, not for a car. They're bigger. They're about, see the gauge on them, I want to say around, what is it, 12 or 14? I think 16 to 18 is car gauge, so I think it's about 12 or 14 gauge. About as big around as a shotgun shell. About, yeah, at least that big. So we're measuring that by inches. Let's see. I would say about an inch, inch and a quarter. About an inch, inch and a quarter, you know, to get specific. Anywhere between definitely 5/8 and inch and a quarter. You know, you can get some big gauge ones. There's a guy that sells them out of his truck in Wildwood, Florida, out of a pickup truck. They call him the Tool Man. I-75 South, if he's still doing it, the Tool Man. If not, try to find you a place that's got, like Truck Pro has got stuff, but also, let's see, I don't know if Northern Tool and Equipment has big gauge. Like I said, I need to be showing this stuff on my cart. I made a place for it. But let's see. Extra parts. We'll pick my brain for a minute. We'll definitely keep a backup cell phone in case your cell phone goes bad. You can take a card out of it and, you know, put it in the other one, make it work. So keep an old phone, swap before the batteries go out. But yeah, let's see. Extra straps for sure, even with the E-Track ones, because they seem to, you go somewhere and they won't let you break a seal, and then you got to go somewhere else pick one up. You should already know that if you're driving a truck, but keep at least 4 on board. I'm specialized. I've got probably about 20 of them, and moving pads, you know, are good to keep, but you got to store them somewhere if you're not running them all the time. Let's think here. Oh, definitely keep all the stuff you need for pumping up a tire. Keep an air hose, a glad hand that's hooked up to it, and you need a reducer for that. It's a brass bushing that goes into the end of the glad hand that reduces it down to airline thread. They have those at TA in the back. You just got to ask a shop guy and bring him a glad hand, or buy one for $5. Buy a glad hand, you know. That's the connector for the back of your trailer. Surely you should know that, but let's see. It's like I said, if you're going from Kansas all the way to Denver. You may not need in the summertime and on many other routes. You might not want to bother with hauling around an extra brake chamber. You might not want to bother with hauling around an alternator, but all the guys I know do, for the reason that they go out and they're trying to beat the wrecker and they fix their own stuff. Definitely keep the impact sockets for that. But then you got to have a pulley puller, because you got to, on the front of an alternator, the belt goes around that pulley. That pulley is pressed onto an 18-wheeler alternator. You have to have a pulley puller to pull it off. So you can go into the shop and they'll do it for you. But it's good to have that if you're on the side of the road, to pull that pulley off and put it on your other alternator. There's a lot of specialized tools that you have to have. Those Torx sets that they're making, your fuse box is over there behind your glove box, so the only way to even change a fuse nowadays is to use a Torx socket over there on those bolts in the glove box. You've got, man, for spare parts, like I said, I would actually have to look and see what I do carry. It's just been second nature just to have it. I keep paracord. Everybody's different, but you can take a tarp and make it into a nice little place to sit up under in a folding chair, you know, especially if you're doing that FEMA stuff and you wind up sitting and you don't know how long it's going to be. Let's see, jumper cables, a hammer, no doubt. Nobody even seems to carry a hammer anymore. I'll tell you what, it's gotten kind of crazy. You got people that can't even slide their axles because they can't knock the pins in with a hammer. You got to carry a hammer. It's safer to carry a ball peen hammer doing that kind of stuff, but I can use a claw hammer, and I've got several. Keep a big hammer too, but the cheater pipe gives you leverage if you don't have even if you do have a breaker bar, you know. So, but don't hit one of those with a hammer. You wind up breaking the drive on the ratchet. I'm trying to think here. Let's see, antifreeze, oil. If I had it all in front of me, I could go through it better. So I will be doing it on my cart. I'll do a video of all that stuff. But you got to keep extra parts on board. Belts for sure. Man, that's the one major thing. That, and you know, when you change out the bad idler or tensioner pulley, when either one of those go bad, that's when you get the belts changed, and you keep those belts. That's about the time you'll need it, and keep them as spares, because you will need extra belts. Zip time, like I showed how to do in that video. Man, safety glasses like crazy, gloves, winter gear. I am trying to go through things with wiper blades, but also winter wiper blades. Yeah, back to tools. There's some tools that I've actually made for, you know, if you're going to cage a brake chamber, you need to take an impact socket, and on the back end of the impact socket, you cut the cap off of it, and then you weld another socket to it, and you got 2 sockets, so it's long enough to cage a brake chamber to run the bolt up. You need a super long, they're called extra long sockets, but the older ones were like 5/8. I don't even think they make one. And I think my load's ready. You know what, people? I'm gonna let you go with that. Y'all stay safe. I'm out. There will be a cigar coming up right now, though. And I'm gonna see what I can't do about getting pulled out of this door, get down the road. Rum dip cigars. It's about that time. Y'all have a good one. Oh, and you know, the good day ain't come yet, but I've still got that big massive, look at this. Is that crazy? That big massive ring gauge. There'll be a day for this, and I'll review it, but that's crazy. They barber poled it. That is huge. So, yeah, there'll be a day for that. Right now is not the day. That stays in the box. Have a good one, everybody. Maybe I gave you a few ideas on tools that you may not have, and stay safe. Hey, get you a burrito at Love's. Has got them. They're pretty good. Don't get the chicken. Stay away from the chicken. Get the barbacoa. Y'all stay safe. I'm out. Peace.